Hello viewers and welcome to another episode. Today we are going to talk about Benford's law for anomaly detection using Excel. It is a law which finds a lot of application in audit, especially to detect outliers and for selection of audit samples at a lightning fast speed. Before we progress into this, in case you do like the contents, do consider subscribing to my channel and hit the bell icon to receive a notification as soon as a new video is released. Now let me first explain to you what Benford law is and how it is helpful in audit. I'll also talk about the exceptions, I mean the scenarios where Benford's law does not apply. So Benford's law is basically this matrix which suggests or which tells us that if we have a good amount of or rather good number of transactions in place, and if we extract the first digit from each of those transactions, the number of transactions having 1 as the leading or the first digit will be 30.1% of the total number of transactions. Similarly, the number of transactions out of the total kitty having 2 as the leading oblique the first digit will be around 17.6% of the total number of transactions. So on and so forth. So if you see, it is actually in a declining trend. In fact, you can actually imagine it as a waterfall ride. Many of you or would have gone to a water park. You would have seen there is a waterfall ride wherein you slide from the top. It's easy to imagine. So Benford's law basically is that waterfall slide which is on a declining trend. Yeah. Now, primarily, if I were to just draw a conclusion from it, it says that around 60% of the total population of data selected for analysis should have the first digits as 1, 2, and 3. Which means if it is not happening likewise, it raises an alarm. And that gives us pointers that we need to investigate further in order to find out if the data is behaving that way. What is the real reason behind it? Is it a fraud? Is it because the data is structured that way, or whatever may be the different reasons for it? Now let me also talk about what are the scenarios in which Benford's law won't apply. The typical scenarios in which Benford's law won't apply are the numbers which are manually allotted. For example, phone numbers, telephone numbers, mobile phone numbers, um, or PIN codes for that matter. These are numbers wherein the Benford's law does not apply. Benford's law typically applies in a naturally occurring data set. For example, the sales transactions of a company for a substantial period of time, or the accounts payable or the accounts receivable for that matter, the discount percentages, etc. These are the naturally occurring data sets, and they should by and large conform to the Benford's law. Right? Now, let me give a ideal world scenario of how data will behave, or rather how data should behave, and then I will show you a real world example. In the ideal world, I have taken the simple example of 500 unique sale transactions. 500 unique sale transactions of a company, and I have extracted the leftmost, that is the first digit of each of the sales amounts. After that, what I've done is I've simply plotted this table to calculate. I've written what are the 9 digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I've calculated the total count using COUNTIF formula. COUNTIF is a pretty easy formula wherein we just have to select the range and what is the criteria basis which it will count. So this is how I have derived the actual count, and I showed you the total count is 500. Now, adjacent to that, I have calculated what is the actual share. So 151 is how much percentage of 500. Similarly, 89 is how much percentage of 500. So on and so forth, I have calculated the actual share, and here I have put the percentage share which should be applicable as per Benford's law. Now, on putting it in the form of a chart, because it becomes easier to visualize and understand, you see the bars are representing the actual share of data, whereas the line is representing the Benford's law share percentage. If you see, both are coinciding, which implies that my actual data is in synchronization with the Benford's law, and it is a symbol that the data prima facie looks okay. Word of caution here, there can still be a fraud there, because if the persons or the group of people who are conducting the fraud are also aware of this law, they can actually carry out the fraud in a way that Benford's law cannot detect it. So Benford's law is one of the techniques for anomaly detection oblique fraud detection, but it is not conclusive. If you find a data which is completely conforming to it, then you need to think of other techniques, how to sample your data and find out the fraud, etc. Now let me take the example in the real world wherein a fraud has occurred. Let's imagine now the same 500 numbers of sale transactions I have taken, but this time I have taken it considering there has been a fraud. And how do I conclude that? This is a set of data containing 500 sales transactions, and I have extracted the leftmost digit. Now again I have put across the same table, Benford's law numbers 1 to 9. I have put the actual count basis countif and calculated actual share. Benford's law shares are constant like 30.1, 17.6, etc. Now let us see the visual representation of it. If you look at the graph, instead of a 30.1% occupancy by numbers starting with 1, we are only having 20.4% numbers which are starting with 1, which means it has been compensated by some other digit or some other leading digits. What are they in this case? If you see closely, number 4 and number 6. In these two cases, the percentage as per Benford's law should have been 9.7 and 6.7 respectively, but the actual share is 15% and 11.8%, which means there is a problem with this data. Now, what are the different implications, or how can you really hypothesize what might be wrong with this data? I can suggest the following different hypotheses looking at this data. The one hypothesis can be, we have to now deep dive into these sales transactions by region. If we have if we are dividing, let's say, India into different regions, or we have to talk about per salesman. There is a possibility that some salesmen might be inflating the sales by either issuing more discounts and hence making more sales, which is detrimental to the company because that is coming at a higher discount cost, or it is inflating the sales which does not have a corresponding receivables. I'm sure the auditors would be able to connect to what I'm saying. I'm trying to explain in a lucid language. Hence, now what the auditor needs to do is, the auditor needs to select the sample from of the data which is starting with 4 and 6 respectively. So in this case 4 and 6 respectively. Further deep dive into it by taking into consideration the respective details of these transactions, which means which region or which salesman these transactions belong to, and also putting the discount percentage as an additional barometer to monitor. After going through that, then the auditor can actually conclude what is wrong with it, and it will also help the company have a robust internal control framework in place once the company is able to get insights like this, wherein the anomaly detection helps them understand if there is a fraud going on in the company. So that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Till my next video comes up, keep safe and keep enjoying, keep excelling. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.